Welcome, Coach Tim.
Yeah.
How are you, man?
Great.
Back again.
Super good. It was a really fun Open championship, wasn't it?
That was fun to watch. That was something. Royal Birkdale sure gave us what really, what links golf is.
It can be, right?
Holy
We were just
smokes.
kind of saying it. If the weather is nasty, if it's raining and sideways and soft, it basically just becomes like watching guys deal with the weather.
Mhm.
But this was a golf course that was wide open, basically.
Yeah.
Like it was just, hey, if you can hit good shots, it had a little bit of like the U.S. Open kind of vibe to it, with the pins and the greens kind of being some defense, but they were a little bit slower, and these guys they went after it.
It was
One guy in
crazy.
particular went after
Before we go on,
it. Yeah.
Steve Tees Off is brought to you by Riverside
There you go.
Golf. Ken Poirier, riversidegolf.ca. Without Ken and his team, the podcast would not be possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say enough positive things about those guys out there. They're fantastic. But back to what we were talking about here, the Open and how stellar that was. That was. I'm still kind of tired from getting up so early to watch.
Yeah,
but I was.
It's one of my favorite things. I can remember as a kid watching golf, and the Masters was always the Masters, but they delayed the telecast forever. So you'd wake up and you'd just be like antsy to watch. The British was always one of my favorites because it literally felt like it was on at midnight. Like you could just be awake and there was golf on, and it was over in the middle of the day or mid-morning, and then you're off to go play golf, right? Like it's kind of a cool vibe.
It is. And the thing is that every time I watch the Open, it brings back memories.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it does.
Yeah.
And of Van de Velde, I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
How he literally shit the bed on the 18th hole.
some
Great stuff.
Yeah.
And what was wonderful about that, though, was there was drama too.
Tons.
Which is cool.
Tons of drama, tons of incredible golf, 362s in the week.
Oh yeah.
Lots, some headlines around a YouTube star, / golfer. There's lots of good stuff out there, and then just great golf, like just incredible golf.
The thing is that like Bryson DeChambeau, I'll give him this. He like I saw, when he's self-deprecating in his humor. He was funny.
Yeah, he was funny.
Yeah. Walking like gingerly by the ball, kind of thing, and talking to the gallery.
The next round,
it's funny.
He played it down the right way, and I think they embraced him for that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the fans were respectful too.
Sure.
Because they,
who
would be happy with that?
We'll cover it really quick. I think it's a tough situation, that those rulings on tour or in that setting where not every shot and every player is on camera.
Yeah.
So when you're playing well, all your shots are on camera, 4K, high def.
Yeah.
Now they've taken out the armchair quarterback at home to call in, but these officials are still able to review videotape, and if they get word of something that might have happened, they're going to go and look at it. The knock is, not everyone's recorded. So some of the incidental fouls that might happen out there while you're playing golf, the penalties that you might occur, might not be documented the same or be able to saw it at the same way. So it's not kind of a fair playing field in that regard. They have a walking scorer or a walking official with each of the groups. That's a perfect scenario for that guy to be right there and go, here's the ruling. And if they do have something that kind of comes up, I think Bryson, from my understanding, is he found out about it when he went into the scoring tent after his round. So if you find out about a penalty that you've incurred during play, that can alter the way that you play the rest of the day, maybe good and bad, but at least gives you the clarity that that's something that you have to deal with at the end. You don't just get surprised and be like, hey, by the way, great round. It's 2 shots higher. And that's what I think his frustration, like, okay, let's go back out there and see what's going on.
There's, who hasn't, when I walked behind their golf ball, to like, and arguably inadvertently, done what he did, and that happens especially in fescue.
Sure, it does. Yeah,
like Jesus, like
it just the optics look. I can't remember who said it on the telecast, but they said he stomped in there like Jurassic Park. I thought that was he did. He just was like he was high stepping it in there. even if it wasn't intentional for him, and they kind of dubbed it as an unintentional act, and it's just a penalty. It happens sometimes. Something happens, so they kind of dubbed it as that, which is great. And his team was really good about, after he got the ruling, and I'm sure he was really hot. And they tried really hard to make him the villain. They kept the camera on him for like 30 minutes, no audio, just watching him, arms waving everywhere. But they did a good job of like, hey, go to the range, hit balls until it's dark, and we'll talk about this tomorrow. And then by then it was kind of not a thing anymore, right?
And you, like, you're competitive, like everybody's
sure, yeah.
And the thing is that it's hard to say, had he not been penalized, there's only a bunch of what ifs.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Like what ifs.
He's there, at least, you're within a sniff. It changes the tournament for you a little bit, for sure. But
yeah. So like hitting an iron off the tee, 330 yards.
Yeah.
And not only were like those fairways were narrow, like they were, if you bombed it, good luck.
Right.
Because you just, there were,
it's frictionless, right? So you have no way of recreating that anywhere except for that right there. I mean, we've got a hot, dry summer here in BC, but it's not to that level where everything is scorched earth. Like it just
the shot of that tournament was Ryan Fox pitching up the hill.
Yeah.
And him literally not moving and the ball coming all the way back down to where he was standing.
Right.
Same spot and not losing his shit.
Well, I think
I just was like,
if there's some takeaways for Ryan Fox and the way that he handled that final round, I think the biggest one is just that he never panicked. He always kind of, took the shot on there, I guess the hole like 15, that par 3, he hits it a foot from, and just before Ryan Gerard, I think, just covered the bunker by a little bit.
That's right.
And it rolls out. In the very next group, he hits the lip and it comes back and he's like up against the wall.
And he didn't even think about it.
And everyone's, the announcers are like, oh my God, he's going to lose his mind. This is a double, blah. He walks up there and still 10 seconds,
that's right,
like the fastest guy ever, goes, oh, I don't have anything. I'll pitch it back here. Then I'll chip it on the green, make my bogey, and then I'll just keep going.
That's right.
And the mentality was insane. Like it not insane. It was so clear. Whereas everyone else was spinning on this golf course that was really getting hard to play.
Yeah.
You're watching Siwoo Kim get to 10 under and then just like the short game abandoned him. Bogeys coming in. All these guys kind of just hanging on.
Well, you could see
Cam Young's on the range. 2.5
hours hitting
chilling,
going. Okay, what am I doing? Looking,
no one's doing anything.
Yeah, and Burns is
slowly hanging.
Yeah,
but
he's hanging,
there.
But he's melting.
And then, then there's Ryan Fox, and he's just full gear up, and I'm going to hit every shot as good as I can and march as fast as I can.
The 18th hole birding it, hucking a dart.
Yeah.
He just hucked a dart, like just boom.
330 something down the middle.
Wow.
Right? Just roasted one down the middle. Stuffed it to 11 feet and makes it for the win, but like 4 birdies in the last 5 holes. An incredible bogey on 15. Like it was... Watching a guy win a tournament, like they go and just take the tournament from everyone, where everyone else is waiting like, well, I guess there's going to be a playoff, or there's going to be 3 guys or 4 guys.
I was positive.
Ryan Fox is like, no, someone's going to win it. And it's going to be me.
Yeah.
Here I go.
The exuberation on his face was just, I can't talk now.
Right. He has this MO all of a sudden. I mean, first of all, he's not young. He's
39 years old.
39 years old. Yeah. But he's got this MO of just a hard guy to play against. His win at I think he won at Valspar, and then he won the Canadian Open, and they were both in very dramatic fashions. Playoff against Sam Burns, another playoff that he won Valspar, made a bomb on the last hole. Like this guy's just got grit for days.
Look at his swing.
Well,
I was watching his knees too, and
he's a rugby player who holds a golf club. His dad played for the All Blacks, right? Yeah. So he is a full on rugby player. Like he's the last guy you'd want to run at in a game of chicken. Like he's not that guy.
Yeah.
He deadlifts crazy weight. Like
well, and the thing is he's not svelte either. He had the little belly.
Right.
I like that stuff.
I think that this is evidence this year of your 4 major winners of just a swing your swing kind of vibe this year. You got Rory, the high draw, prototypical athlete. You got Aaron Rye, who hits it out of his shadow with 2 gloves on in a tournament. You got Wyndham Clark, who's just power cutting everything, has a putter made for him that is just like a saver that he's making everything with. And you got Ryan Fox, who's swinging over his head, and everything looks like it's bent. His whole body just looks like it's bent. It's everywhere.
Like Elmer Fudd out there.
He's incredible. He was incredible. He was so fun to watch, and
it
was hard not to root for that guy. As much as I thought Cam Young was going to steal that thing from an incredible round, kudos to Ryan Fox. That was awesome.
I was looking because I got so taken back. I forgot who didn't make the cut.
Of the big names,
and
I think like Fitzpatrick.
Yeah,
he missed it. There's always a few guys every week, and then there's some guys that you would expect that would be really relevant in the tournament, like Rory. You just assume that his game was going to carry over. Goddard, who had played.
What happened to him on Sunday, Rory? Did he?
So Rory's that guy, I think, and I think he's a little like Tiger in this regard. If he's in contention, it's a gear that he's going after. If he's kind of out of it, I don't know that he is motivated to kind of put a 60 on the board or something. He's going to wait and save it for the next kind of tournament. This was a complete test for the week. Ryan Fox putted his ball incredibly. Yeah. I think like all the major winners or any big tournament like this, you have to make putts. Rory maybe just didn't have the flat slope roll in this week the way that
Jordan Spieth didn't make the cut.
Yeah,
he
won Birkdale previously, right, in 2018.
It was like he showed. Justin Roser was so much hype. He did the McLaren thing. He did a video.
That's going to be tricky.
And he's
since that McLaren switch, we haven't seen or talked about Rosie as much. And this is not just this is him or his equipment. I'm sure the equipment's fantastic. It's just a learning curve. And he's a very meticulous guy. So there's going to be some stuff he's going to work through. He did this with Hanma a few years ago, where he switched to Hanma and then he kind of came back and went to something he was familiar with. The tuning of that gear is going to be a little bit of a transition for him.
The other question Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah.
Obviously doesn't have a clothing deal.
Yeah, he's just calling up Buddy. He probably called Tiger and he's like, "Hey, can I get a shirt for Sunday? Like a blue one, maybe?" Yeah, he's
Trisha's he's dressed in like a shrub.
Yeah,
and I went, well, maybe that's his look. Now I don't know.
Yes, the fashion out there these days is a little all over the place. You've got some guys
pleated pants.
You get some guys that are still wearing as tight of clothes as they can sort of get. So the wind, you can't even see the wind. And then you look at Tommy and you can tell exactly where the wind's blowing with everything. His hair, his pants, his shirt, everything. He's windswept all day long.
Windswept with the curls.
Yeah, like if he's a good guy to play golf with, because there's not a lot of guys that smoke out there anymore. But smoke used to be a great way to see where the wind is blowing. But now you just look at Tommy's hair or his pants and you'll see where it's going.
The thing is, though, that you get the feeling, and you certainly can tell by his actions, that he's genuinely a nice guy.
Oh, he's great. I think that's why everyone loves him so much. They want him to win. Tommy's just so well loved by all of them. It would have been as big as Shane Lowry winning in Ireland if Tommy could have gutted that thing out. And he had some moments there. He didn't finish that far back. I think Tommy's going to be that guy who gets one of those, like, later in his career, and it's a sundowner tournament kind of thing for him. But hopefully he gets through, because he's definitely got the game for it.
The big thing is that, like, I would like to know when Ryan Fox plays a round of golf, like a practice round, or just goes out with his buddies, if he's playing 3.5 hour rounds.
I think maybe if they're holding him up, he's going to play through. I think he's playing 245. It went and not hurrying very much. He doesn't look. He kind of looks like a duck on water. He's moving fast, and those legs are pedaling.
No waggle.
No,
just pump it.
That's pretty cool to watch someone be that decisive.
Yeah.
And not just for whatever, not just because I'm a fast player. So watch me just hit it fast into the bunker or whatever.
Yeah.
He was so decisive. His decision making. His caddy's got to be just as fast.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, okay, here we go. Got to get you the club and the yardage and like just got to get it all to him because he's ready to rock like right away. Like zero doubt, his first instinct.
I
away we go.
I can't remember watching a golf tournament though where you've seen the player tee it up and like for me, even watching that, I get anxiety.
Yeah.
Because I can't do that. Like
right.
If I do that, I'm in my head right away.
But so from a coaching standpoint, we mentioned Jordan Spieth.
Yeah.
When you watch Jordan Spieth play golf, it looks like he's still trying to figure out everything before he hits it. He's adjusting his grip, he's working a club in the backswing. He's still trying to attach feel to all of the things that he's kind of working on. So he's still kind of technically practicing while he's out there. Ryan Fox, I don't know that he cares what his golf swing looks like. He knows what he wants to do to the golf ball, and he's basically just playing the golf ball around the golf course. And whether that comes from way above his head, around the corner, whether his hands are on the way, whatever, it doesn't really matter. He knows how to make the ball start and spin and fly the way that he wants, and that is it. And it's really fun to watch someone own the way that they do it and know that this is a game about controlling a golf ball, not about great angles in a golf swing.
Well, even when you're watching it on television, and you there's almost like it with that links golf, you hit what you think is a perfect shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like even Fox said, he knew he was in trouble because he heard the commentators.
Right.
That's how like
really?
Yeah, he said he goes.
Could hear the
I heard them. I'm going
right,
and I went okay.
Yeah.
So I was already it was in my head. I'm going
expectations. He's not walking up there like I hope it's good. It's definitely.
He said he heard it.
Yeah.
He heard it, and he was already okay.
Yeah.
Let's bring it on. And there were and I think it was it that hole on was it Saturday that he nipped it like when he was coming out of the bunker and he just that lip.
Yeah.
He nipped it.
Yeah,
And he said, I hit something like he just missed.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I see Kim pulls out driver off the deck on that.
Siwoo looked like he spun out of control. He needed someone there.
What was that?
He got to 10 under with not a lot of holes left, about to win a major. And like in that moment right there, I think Siwoo and everyone kind of knows like, hey, 10 under probably is good enough, like or probably pretty close. And then he made a real bad decision on that driver off the deck or whatever.
Yeah.
Then his short game just started to abandon him. He made a kind of a poor effort up the hill with the putter off the green, a couple of bad chip shots. He just looked like he couldn't feel his hands anymore. And it was, Ryan Fox 4 birdies in the last 5 holes and a great up and down. Siwoo 4 bogeys in the last 5 holes. Not to say that he choked, but he would look back on that and be like, boy, I'd like another chance to just make some pars.
Yeah.
Pars would have been great.
And I was, I don't know why I expected the purse to be bigger. It was $17.75 million.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be
pretty crappy.
But for some
compared
reason,
to some of these big,
22 million kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the winner earned 3.2 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not so bad.
That's a good chunk of change.
Yeah.
And Cameron Young walks away with 1.8 million.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
These guys, it gets to that point, right? Like these world-class players where it becomes not about the money anymore. They have enough. It's now like, hey, you just won 1.8 million. And they go, yeah, I finished second. Guess who remembers second place?
No one.
Nobody.
That's right. And, Scotty, one of the questions I wanted to ask you, does links golf set up better for a cut than a draw? And I'm asking this question because the wind.
Yeah.
It's like you got a 10, 15 mile an hour wind. You're able to ride the wind a lot.
I'll say a certain type of cut. So when you cut a golf ball, you're spinning it more. More spin is usually a little bit more control. If you're hitting a high cut, then it gets just chewed by the wind. These guys are hitting pretty low cuts, like apexes under 100 feet, like 90-foot cuts. So they're hitting like squeeze cuts, which is a nice shot to hit because you can kind of get on top of it. You know it's not going to go left, and it gets on the ground a little bit quicker. It might not have the run out of a lower spinning draw, but the draws obviously work great into the wind or into a crosswind. But it just looks like under the gun, a fade's a really nice one for a high speed player to kind of like take a bit off. It's almost like a hitter in baseball, like a right-handed hitter in baseball, just like fighting a count and being like, you know what, I'm just going to chip one over the first baseman into right field because I can kind of just keep everything square. I don't have to try to like flip it over, put a bat on it and get it in play. So it ends up being a really good pattern. I mean, we've seen it in, if you can remember like really important tee shots in majors coming down the stretch. How, Rory's the guy who moves it right to left. Cam Young moves it right to left, but he moves it a million miles in the air. So you don't even see it. It just goes up so high. But a lot of like real memorable hard fades down the middle. Tiger really started owning that later in his career to kind of keep it in play. So it's just a safer shot for a high speed player. And Ryan Fox has some speed. I mean, it was a 180 cut right down the middle on the last hole, 330 in the just perfect tee shot. Really set it up.
And the later part, and the thing is, you see the greens harden up.
Yeah,
it just the roll.
But they kept some grass on them because if you had, I would imagine the green speed maybe got to around 10. I don't think that they were 13 or 14 like they can get at a U.S. Open or Augusta on the weekend because you would lose them. You literally don't have enough water to keep any material on the surface, and then it would just be a nightmare. But
it's the thing that those golf courses they're punishing enough with the bunkers
for sure.
Like they're punishing.
Yeah,
like it's punishment.
But there's Royal Birkdale is on TrackMan, so you can play it like the rendered version of TrackMan. So I played it a couple times before the Open, and I played it on Saturday, I think, when I was at work in between. It takes me about 25 minutes to play on TrackMan, so I'm like, if I have a 30-minute or 45-minute break in between lessons, sometimes I'll just play a golf course, and I was like, I'll play Birkdale. So I tried to set it up as close as I could, firm conditions, fast greens, a little bit of wind. And what you realize just from even just playing the game is that there's just a bunch of really tough par fours that you have to hit driver on out there, or a long iron to kind of get it in play. And there's these bunkers everywhere are not like the bunkers here in North America, where you're immediately in there thinking like, okay, what club can I use to get to the green? You're thinking like, okay, I guess I got to go backwards over here to get out of this penalty that I just found myself in. And now I never want to be in one of these ever again. Pretty sod walls in front of me, but I can't get it out.
Yeah.
So it's a different style. The bunker sand is beachy and flat, and it's all kind of in these little pits. And you get in there, and it becomes, we watched, was it Rory? No, Cam Young on 18, the gamble out of the bunker.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He tried to take it on, hit the lip, made bogey on 18, great round of 64. In hindsight, that's a playoff, right? And that maybe changes things where he kind of forces Ryan's hand a little bit more later in the round to have to make a birdie to tie rather than, okay, I have a chance to win this thing. So interesting how the bunkers and the penalties over there are not the same over here.
Is there on those bunkers, are there ever unplayable lies?
I would imagine.
There'd have to be, right?
I would imagine if you get to a position where, your hand, say you're a right-handed player and the lip is huge and below you and you literally can't even get in there to take a swing, you'd have to hit it left-handed. You can take relief from the bunker, but have to stay in the bunker. If you move it out of the bunker, I believe it's another penalty to take it out of there, but you would take your unplayable, I don't know. You'd have to go deep dive in the rules. That's why I always have the app with me just in case I get in those scenarios.
I want to say it was Ryan Fox, and it might have been on Saturday when I was watching, or I don't know if it was, but he hit his drive into the fescue. He went to get his club and then he couldn't find his ball when he went back.
Oh yeah.
And I started laughing to Trisha going, that's me at King's Links. I need a flag or something.
I was up with my son last week at Sagebrush. We were playing some golf, and he hit one well into the desert, and we went in there, and we found it, and he's walking back over the cart, and he's like, well, how do I go to the cart and then know where my ball is? I'm like, take your hat off, put it on the nearest bush, and then go, and then you'll find your hat. I'm like, you have to put a reference point out there because you're out in the desert. So
can't find it.
Go find it. But yeah, you gotta do that. You gotta put a beacon out there so you can find those things.
That's funny to watch, though.
Yeah, it is.
It is funny to watch.
Yeah. Interesting ruling, actually. If we're talking rulings, the one with Scheffler, the mystery ball, and they're just like, hey, you get a free drop. There you go. Here we go. Nobody say anything. And then the announcers come on while he's putting, and they're like, oh, and by the way, they found Scotty's ball, so everything's good, everybody. And it's like, wait a minute.
What happened?
So he hit it into an area or a bush. Someone said that they saw it go into a bush. It was behind a grandstand or something, so he was going to get relief for an immovable obstruction, a man-made immovable obstruction, a grandstand. So he's going to get relief from that, and I think they just expedited it. They're like, your ball went in there, so you get to drop here. Don't worry about it. We know where your ball went. I think everybody else on the planet has to identify their ball. They can't just say like, but Scotty had a chance still, so keep him going. Keep him alive. Yeah, that's an interesting one. If anyone knows what happened, what transpires there, if they have an insight to how he just got a free drop, I'd love to know.
There's the thing about golf too is that you're responsible for calling penalties on yourself. Right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be
governed, self-governed.
Yeah, it is. It's self-governed.
Yeah,
and the thing is that I would say that nobody at that, you'd think at that level, nobody goes out there and willfully would be. Now, are you going to take advantage of whatever you can? Of course.
Yeah, of course. But also, if you're in contention, you just start calling that official over all the time.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess up. You don't want to be, you want to have the right rulings go on. You don't want to have those careless penalties that can happen just because you did something wrong without asking somebody.
One player we haven't really talked about was Sam Burns.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yes.
What happened?
So Sam is obviously a world-class player.
No question.
Right? And has shown himself in majors, in big events. He's the best putter on tour, I think, statistically. So he's going to be in a lot of tournaments. But if you could read facial expressions and emotions, like I was kind of watching Ryan Fox look like he was literally chasing down his prey. Mm-hmm. And Sam Burns looked like he was hiding in the background and being like, oh my God, this is so scary. Yeah. Like he was... And, maybe that's not the right take, but he looked like he just didn't have the killer instinct to, I'm going to get this thing.
Yeah.
He was kind of right along with Ryan Fox, watching him just go nuts for the last few holes. Sam was trying to hang in there. He would still hit great shots, had a great tournament, but there's a big difference. I mean, I watched Jack Nicklaus close out some tournaments later in his career. I watched Tiger come up and close out tournaments in his career. You watch these guys that, with a killer instinct, finish off a tournament. That was Ryan Fox. Sam Burns, I think, was what almost needed to have a lead and back into it.
Do you think he was intimidated? Really so. Intimidated by just Fox's strut and him normally, and I'm not going to say there's a lot of chatter.
Yeah.
But there might be a little bit of talk or whatever, and you're a professional golfer, okay? So when you play with somebody, right away. Like some days you have that feeling where you're like, okay, there's a reason why I can be confident today. Everything is right there. It's clicking. I know where I'm going to hit this. There's no process is everything's easy, comes easy. That then you can be really aggressive. If you're having a day where, you don't get the breaks early and you're kind of battling yourself a little bit and the day feels really long and you're watching someone else do it, it's really hard to just flip a switch and be like, I'm going to be aggressive now and I'm going to take this tournament. But it's what it takes at the highest level to be able to close these things out. You have to be able to win with a B game or a C game. But when someone comes along in a tournament like this with their absolute A+ game, you just got to tip your hat to them. Like Ryan took that tournament from everybody else. Yeah.
Sam had every right to be in the mix. Probably had a chance, a couple of chances coming in to tie and sort of get himself in there. But man, Ryan just was like.
He looked at the end. Burns looked like he was going to cry.
Now, Sam Burns, his wife just had a baby. Yeah. He came over. He didn't think he was going to play. Yeah. Came over. Probably short on practice and all that stuff. So these are not just golfing robots. They are humans. They have lives.
That's right.
And he's probably living up the emotions of having a baby or his wife having a baby. So
Do you
I wouldn't put that past him.
do you think that like what is the thing that puzzles me? Not puzzles me. It's a question. Winning the British Open, you have an exemption for the Open for 10 years? Is that correct?
I think so. Yeah,
It's 10 years.
and I think some other measure, if you go through it, it's like 5 for the other majors and some exemptions into the
Because I never
championships and such.
and then this might be a stupid question to ask too, but it's always been in the back of my head. When you win multiple majors, do they stack on top of each other, or are they serve the years concurrently?
from time period. So
Okay.
so say you'd want to say you have a 10-year exemption from a U.S. Open that you won 4 years ago, and then you win another U.S. Open
It's from the time.
that, so you get another 10 on
And
top.
the Masters, if you win it, you're in for life.
You can just keep going.
Keep on going to like
Keep having dinners,
100,
bring your jacket.
and-
Yeah. Have a nice time. But at a certain point, they're like,
you should.
sir, are you sure you want to play this year? Because we get you like a nice seat at the table. Like,
Yeah.
you just sit in there and hang out with the guys.
It was such a the thing that was a great contrast yesterday. It was a great sports day. It was.
Yeah, it
I'm a
was.
sports fan.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah.
But the contrast.
Unless you're an Argentinian soccer fan, sorry.
I didn't like. I get it. I love listening to the British commentators.
Yeah. Yes.
I do.
Yeah.
Because they're such asses with like the stuff they like.
Yeah.
like they are. They're just. They're.
Do you think our accent carries that weight in
I don't
England?
know. I don't think so. No,
There's
it
not a
doesn't.
bunch of Canadian announcers over in the UK.
But
Like,
nothing.
listen, Al, look at the maple syrup dripping off of that voice.
No, there's nothing that beats their take on stuff.
I know.
It's like, hey, even
Yeah.
it looks like he's got a lot of trouble here. He's in a lot. They have no problem.
They have a way of,
Even I'll throw in like Andy Rooney, the English soccer player. He came out and said the halftime show sucked. He hated it. He said, "I like all the artists, but that halftime show sucked.
Yeah.
It was terrible."
Yeah.
No problem saying it. And then watching the because I watched UK ESPN.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I know we're getting off but the three guys on the panel
Yeah.
just shit all over Argentina.
Yeah.
And the one guy goes, "It's a cultural thing. They're all like that." So they're just it was.
Yeah. They have a different way of presenting.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
It was.
for sure.
But the thing
Great
is,
sports day.
that's right. And the thing is that they're so like that, but on the golf course, they're so respectful.
Absolutely.
They're like,
Yeah.
I liken the British golf fans to Montreal Canadian fans. If you've ever been to a game in Montreal, hockey, I have a couple of times. They're respectful where they'll applaud a great save by the opposing team's goaltender and stuff. They're respectful.
These are educated
Yeah,
fans.
they're educated fans.
And I think that's the same over there. When we were all present for U.S. Open.
Yeah.
And the education, the
commentary,
those fans definitely demonstrated versus the fans over in the UK. So I think
they're very respectful.
they're super like there's no there's no hate for the US players over there. They're as it was at Aronimik or where all these
they're respectful and they're respectful of great shots of great shots you played. And I think it's one of the classiest events. Like it really is.
Yeah.
It exudes class.
Yeah.
It's
a history lesson for a lot of us, right? Like the courses that they play, they just remind us that the golf courses kind of come out of the land, that they aren't just manufactured products. There's a lot of golf courses that you play, and I think it's really cool. A lot of the architecture and a lot of the design that they're coming up with now in some of these resorts and places, they're searching for these like natural. It looks like a golf course before we even did anything to it, rather than cutting out of the trees somewhere and just laying greens around and target golf. It's very, very fun to watch.
Is it my imagination too that whenever the Open, you always see players that you feel you've never heard of,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
Yeah.
They're there.
Yeah.
And I can name some names that, Casey Jarvis.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's he?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, there's a bunch of guys. I think that's just like British Open golf. It lends itself to someone who is like a resilient, like it's just all these gritty, tough guys playing golf in the wind and the rain. And so qualifying and getting in there, and it's an open, right? A lot like the US Open, that there's a million different ways to get to that tournament. You have, I would imagine, you know, maybe one of the, if we compared earlier, the strongest fields of the majors. I would argue that this is maybe not that. You've got all these guys coming in from all over the place. The reality is there's 20 or 30 guys that are probably going to win the tournament, and then the rest of the guys are just really excited to be at the British and have a chance. Well, who knows what happens for my week? And
what's the name of the Italian guy that won?
Molinari?
Yeah, he showed up too. Like he was in there for a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. But it shows you that you have to know how to play those courses. Yeah. This is not a guy who, and maybe that's a Justin Rose, why he's not successful, or someone who is, you know, technically I swing at zero. I'm tactically, I hit it straight. I hit it like this. You watch Ryan Fox just create, just like a paintbrush around the golf course, creating golf shot after golf shot to fit the hole. The swings were all unique, the way that he moved through them to kind of create the windows and shot shaping. And he just really related well to the golf course. If you're someone who, I'm going to hit my, 8-iron 163 yards, I'm going to adjust for the wind a little bit, it's just so hard to play that when it's inconsistent and the ground, you have to get out there and really become artistic way more than you can become technical when the golf course plays like that. And it showed why a guy like Ryan Fox who creates so well on a golf course and doesn't have a traditional golf swing or traditional behavior or anything on a golf course, why he can succeed in something like that.
Yeah. And Rom, he melted down. Like he's been melting down.
Yeah. It's tough for, I think it's just tough for the live guys, they're losing touch a little bit. It's, I don't know, I would equate it to like a bunch of horses. Just, if you're running with the same horses, you figure out the speed that you have to run to stay with the herd. And then if you take off and you're off by yourself a little bit and you come back, you realize that those horses are pretty fast. Yeah. So I think it's hard to catch up, to get back in the mix when you just are like, you're playing against, some horses that are a bit lame and don't move as fast and don't really care about getting to where they have to go. The PGA Tour is just full of studs. It's just full of studs.
Like Cameron Smith didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
And he's a player.
Yeah.
Like he's a player.
He won the British. Yeah. So, he's also flirting with other putters. So there's guys, that just get to this point and maybe they get to this tournament and they just don't have it all lined up, right? Maybe their equipment they haven't quite got it. Maybe they don't quite have all the shots. They're playing around with some stuff around the greens. They're trying to whatever, and they just start the week and they're not quite there. You could tell that Ryan Fox, he just was really comfortable with everything that he had all week long. It just was, he was ready to go.
So I would like, there's never an explanation as to what, how you, and there was a PGA Tour event this weekend too.
Yes. Yeah.
Where was it? In the Dominican Republic, I think, or so.
Yeah.
And the purse was $4 million.
It's not bad,
Yeah.
Someone's got to play.
And then I just, for kind of shits and giggles, I looked up AJ Ewart is over $1 million. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good.
It's nice. Nice start. Yeah.
Hey?
Nice start.
That's not bad.
That it's kind of like what the Austin Powers, where he gets comes out of freezing Dr. Evil, and he's like $1 million, and they're like, that actually isn't a lot anymore. The PGA Tour now, I think, to make it for a year, you got to almost cut $2 million to get yourself for your next season. I remember when Adam Hadwin first got on tour and was successful and kind of building and had one, really good year. And he's making the year that he won, made a bunch of money, and you're looking at him on the leaderboard, and then you just keep going up the leaderboard of all this money. And you're like, wow. And it just keeps getting more and more and more. The events, the purses, the cost is not cheap. I mean, it doesn't cost nothing to play in these events. So you got to and I'm sure they pay taxes on this stuff.
Well, they
right?
they pay right at source.
Yeah. So it's as much as it is, I'm sure it gets stripped away pretty quickly. So you got to go make that money.
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
No pressure.
Yeah. And then, by the way, next week, go do it again.
Yeah, that's right. And next weekend.
Yeah.
What tour event is next weekend? I should know this. I should be able to pull it out of my, because I did look. I can't remember. But Scotty's in it.
Oh,
He's
when are we when are we into the Tour Championship and all that? That's not till next month.
Next month.
Yeah.
Next month.
Yeah.
But this is, I was disappointed that Podrick didn't make the cut. It would have been interesting to see.
Yeah.
Like it just would have been neat to see.
He's definitely got the game for it. I mean, he won back to back. He won Birkdale, and he won I think the year after or the year before, whatever. But he went back to back British. He won a PGA in that same. So he was on a major heater for a few years. I mean, obviously, super accomplished player too.
Why does Ireland have so many players, good players? And I'm saying, comparatively speaking, like, and successful that you can name. Okay, and
yeah, I always think that too.
Like there's something.
I always think that too. It's like, how do these games travel? How does Australia produce such great talent? How does Ireland, the UK, Scotland?
The weather is shit,
right? South Africans, you are global travelers. I think that's what it comes down to. Is when you're playing in the UK, you're probably able to then travel and play a whole bunch of different environments, climates, grasses, a lot easier than maybe it is. North America is very specific to its geography. The Southeast is, Bermuda grass, and the West Coast is Poana, and there's bent in the Northeast. And so like you're to these little pockets, you're playing very similar styles of golf courses. So you can get these players that grew up playing really well on those styles. That's why they always say, here's another horse reference, horses for courses or courses for horses, where you just play really well. I think over there, like you're probably playing events down in Mallorca, and you're playing in the UK, and you're playing on the coast in Scotland, and you're playing in Italy in the mountains and the Alps. And so like I think you get a diverse appetite and experience for all different styles and plays of golf and golf tournaments. So when they travel the world, they probably like have reference for most of these plays.
And I think on Wednesday they had a qualifier for, I think there was 10 guys for one spot or something like that. And that guy that was, I don't know if he was a garbage truck driver or whatever he was.
That's the beauty of the open, getting in, right?
Yeah.
Just
he got in.
Yeah. Gotten in. Now, is he the kind? I don't know much about him, but is he the type of guy that goes to the range and goes right to the very end and hides, or does he take it all for what it's worth and tries to slide in between Scotty and Rory on the range of a practice day and go, "You guys playing later? Do you have a third already?"
Because that's
just enjoy your week.
Yeah,
right? Like if you get in
crazy.
like that, first of all, spell the dream of winning the tournament. Go and like do some recon. Like hopefully you get back there again and you can do better the next time. You're not going to win it being the last guy to get in as a qualifier. So just go have a great week.
And I think
head out with some guys.
And I believe he had his girlfriend or his wife as a caddy too. So
I would have everybody, right? Like I just invite everybody, and like halfway through I'd be trading out a caddy, just trying to get 6 or 7 people to caddy for me for the week. A week, I say. It'd be,
the guys you're playing with to
days.
autograph your ball.
But it would be we'd just make the most of it. Yeah.
What amazed me though is the amount of, like, there's so much talent out there, like on the European tour, everywhere else.
Yeah.
And it's so difficult to get on the PGA on this loop here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
And there's guys that just like I said, never heard of them.
Right.
Who are you?
Yeah.
And I wish, I kind of like, I find I've watched DP events, like a little bit of them, but
yeah.
I don't know if I'm bored or it's just doesn't seem to have the same type of excitement, but the caliber of players, like these guys are really good.
That's the, and that's the thing is like if you're a great player and you're on the PGA Tour, it's really hard to not look over your shoulder and be like, oh, by the way, there's a million guys behind you that could do exactly what you do given the opportunity. So you have to work so hard to try to maintain your game and to excel and to be great at this thing, because it's almost an impossible task to like keep the reins on this thing. It just is. It's hard to be great. I saw someone say this once, and I like it. This is for every golfer ever, and you take it for what it is. But golf is a cycle. When you play golf, it's good golf, indifferent, terrible, indifferent, good golf. And it just keeps going like this. And for the best players in the world, their good golf and their terrible doesn't look that different, but it's enough for them. It's 5 shots, 10 shots higher, whatever it is. For some of us, it could be 100 shots. It could make you want to sell your golf clubs, but just around the corner is indifferent again. And it reminds you that you're on your way back to like good golf. And it just is like this weird little cycle.
Well, I actually had a very poignant discussion with Stephen LeCure on, and a good Alberta boy, and he made the comment. He said, "Nobody plays this game to be worse. You always want to be better, right? No matter what age you are,
for sure,
right?
Yeah, for
you
sure.
Don't. Nobody's playing the game and going, oh, geez, I want to be worse.
Yeah."
There's an expectation.
Yeah.
You want to be better. And it's true.
And nobody walks off at the end of the best round they've ever played and goes, well, did it. All right, let's go check out pickleball.
That's right. It's never like that. And he was correct.
Yeah.
Yet there was 2 poignant things he said. One was that, and then I asked him, I said, do you like soccer? He goes, that was a recess sport. I just started laughing. I go,
great.
That's a prairie, that's me.
Yeah.
And I went, you're right. In Manitoba, that was a recess sport.
It was the easiest
right.
and
Throw a
cheapest
ball
way
out there in the
to keep
snow or
kids
whatever.
outside.
You just go.
There's only one ball. Share. See ya.
You can walk, you can play.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
And nobody really got hurt. It wasn't like dodgeball.
No. No. Dodgeball was an excuse for my 7th grade gym teacher to just take out his aggression. And some of the kids that he made it very clear who he did not like in the class. Dodgeball. I was like, man, he's really taking it on Mike in the corner there. You already hit him.
Well, that reminds me of playing basketball too. We used to play basketball at recess, and going get the ball, and one of the guys he's got hiking boots on. I turned my head for a second. I'm running towards the ball, and he kicked it like a soccer ball and hit me right in the face with the basket. That hurts.
Oh yeah,
that hurts a lot.
Yeah,
and you think back to the Open though. There was there were a couple of wayward shots that pegged the gallery too.
For sure.
When you're
I love this that the golf ball went off of someone's arm, right? Off their forearm or off their back or off their chin or something, and the ball at one point was traveling 185 miles an hour, and maybe it slowed down to like a cool 120 by the time it hit your arm. It's just falling out of the sky. And then the guy comes over and goes, "Hey, listen, real sorry. Let me just golf club. Let me sign this $25 glove for you. Just let me know how that CTE goes."
Wow, that
you look great. Oh, you're fine. Walk it off. Yeah, here's a glove.
Especially when you have no idea.
It's so funny.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Yeah, I think Mickelson used to just keep a bag full of signed gloves because he was a little wayward. He used to just toss them in the crowd. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, let's not bring up Mickelson.
Yeah, he
didn't play. Where was he this
Where
week?
was he? Where was he?
He's got some side issues going on. Yeah.
He's got some.
Phil's turning out to be less likable.
Yeah.
A lot less likable. We'll see. We'll let it all unfold here, but it's a lot of not nice things happening around Phil for a guy who was really embraced by the British fans.
Yeah.
And really adored as a champion over there. So
what golfer, and I'll ask you this because you're really a student of the game. What surprised you the most of a player that did not make the cut? Who did you think would be there?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't go deep diving into who missed it. I was really kind of focused on, but yeah, I think some of the guys that were playing really well that you kind of would expect. I thought a Wyndham Clark would have a really good week.
Victor Hovland was nowhere.
Hovland, yeah. With Clark, remember I was kind of saying like there's a nice pattern, like a low hard fade. Mm-hmm. Wyndham is like a high spinny fade when he misses it. And knowing the first hole, especially at Birkdale that I played, out of bounds is right there on the right. Mm-hmm. And there's a few holes where right is not great as a big kind of spinny miss. Maybe it just didn't drive with him this week. Also, it's easy to kind of like take the rest of the year off if you win a major. Like not everyone was Tiger. Like I'm going to win every major for the rest of my life. And some guys win a major and they're like, I'm cool to just hang out and take my trophy around for a little bit.
Well, it was evidential. It's evidence that the golf course doesn't care. Like really, like that golf course like it doesn't care who you are.
Yeah. No.
It really is going to eat you up.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, you forget how early you're up in the morning, and like you said, it's over by noon,
right?
Which is great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's like it's one of those golf tournaments where you're wearing, like when you're watching it, you're kind of wearing it.
I think that's why it's so much fun to watch because it's and then the coverage has gotten so good with like the drones and like it romanticizes the landscape and the history so well that if you don't finish watching that tournament and immediately start Googling trips to the UK for golf, you did it wrong. You're watching it wrong because you should watch that and be like, I want to go over there and play all those golf courses, everything. I want to play that.
And the thing is, the week before up in Scotland, they had shit weather. Like it was just like the one where you couldn't see nothing.
Yeah,
you know that's the reality.
That could happen, and that's what I was saying earlier. Is if you just get a weathered tournament where it's just a war against the players with wind and rain, it's a totally different thing, and almost like it kind of paralyzes the tournament. This was cool to see, just like, hey, if you want to play well, go for it. You could win this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it was obviously right to the end.
Yeah.
You know, what type of the other question I had is what type of grass are those greens?
I think everything's kind of fescue there. It looks like they might have an overseed on their greens to kind of keep water. I know that fescue grass is a little bit more temperamental, but I would imagine that most of the grass around that property is a fescue type of grass, even the short grass. They had that grass at Chambers Bay. So when Chambers first opened and hosted the U.S. Open in 2015, they adopted a full-on, like, we're going to be a links on the Pacific Northwest. So they went to a full fescue, greens and everything golf course. And if you remember, they did not do well in the hot sun, those greens. They were really bumpy. DJ would still like to have the last hole back, a 3 or 4 putt or whatever he had, and Jordan Spieth ended up winning. But the greens were really bumpy and tough to putt on. And since then, Chambers has adopted maybe a bent grass overseed or just taken the fescue greens out just because maybe it doesn't work so well in our climate. But I would imagine that the greens over there, just looking at them, I didn't study it enough to know, but they look like they would have some sort of blend. They weren't all fescue, but all that other grass pretty much is. Mm-hmm. It all just lays in the direction of the wind. So you hope that you hit it in the fescue on the downwind holes going towards the green.
You've played over there. I've never played.
I've never played over there. I've never been overseas to play there. I had a trip planned in 2020, but something happened to that year. We didn't get to go, and I haven't yet. But we've got some trips in the works.
I would imagine that you couldn't play a golf course like that without it. You'd have to have some local knowledge. You have to have you have to have somebody that knows that golf.
Yeah, when you go to those places, I've played links style golf courses. I've played. Played a few that are kind of close, the Bandons and those that are very, very similar styles, where even Sagebrush, it has a little bit of that, where it might be kind of blind, or it might be the topography kind of hides it a bit with a hill or something, and you've got 2 posts lined up that you have to hit. But having local knowledge, having a caddy tell you, hey, see that rock on the hill right there? We're going to go a little left of that rock. That's your spot. Hit it there. That probably happens a lot. Or I'm sure on a lot of links style golf courses, you stand on the tee, you look around, and you go, is that my green? No, that's my green. No, am I going this way? Uh-oh, we should have probably brought a map with us. You kind of need to know the routing, and you need to know where you're looking. The players study all the lines really carefully. The caddies study all the lines really carefully at the beginning of the week. But when you're over there playing with a group of guys, it's always a great idea, if you've never been somewhere, to have a caddy or a 4 caddy, somebody to just walk you guys around and at least point you in the right direction.
Where is the Open next year?
No idea. I haven't even looked yet. I'm looking at the next big one on my radar is Medina. Is the President's Cup. I think it might be a president. Wow, who knows? The U.S. is so strong, but that's the next one on my radar.
So from a coaching perspective, any amateur such as myself, which, there's a lot of us out there. What's a takeaway from that tournament? Obviously the brisk pace of play.
Yeah.
You can play the game.
You can play it quick if you're decisive.
You're decisive.
I think this is kind of like I was saying earlier, Ryan Fox, a lot like a Goddard, a lot like actually when you study the best players, they've all got their unique idiosyncrasies and tendencies, and we praise them for their individuality, which is kind of cool. I think the takeaway here is, it might be just good for parents to hear this. Ryan Fox started golf really when he was like 13 or 14, didn't really take it up seriously till he was like 18. He's 39 is when he wins his first major. He started having success a couple years ago, really on the PGA Tour. He's played a bunch of tours before that. I'm not saying he wasn't successful, but it's not like, if you've got a kid out there and you want them to be great at golf, they don't have to be great by the time they're 15 or 17 or 22 or 25. It's this ongoing journey, and everyone's going to arrive there when it's right. If you keep sort of changing things and chasing things and switching things, it just takes longer. Is the game that you have right now good enough to put some work behind it? Mm-hmm. Nothing gets good without effort and work. You can't show up to a golf lesson and say, I'm hitting it bad and I want to play better. Tell me 5 things and then I'll just have those things. I'm going to go play golf. You have to go and practice and harden the skills that you have. Once they're galvanized to the point where you don't question them anymore, then you get to go have a fun time on the golf course and hit golf shots and execute golf shots. So watching a guy like Ryan Fox be decisive, have an ownership of his game, and really just take it, should make everyone kind of think like, wait a minute, am I out there thinking about my golf swing all the time? And maybe with some merit because you don't put any work behind it. But am I out there thinking about my golf swing, or am I really trying to hit a golf shot? Am I trying to hit a golf ball somewhere, or am I just trying to swing a golf swing and hope that the ball goes magically to where I want it? I would imagine that the preface of that, having some control or idea of where your golf ball goes, is really the goal, and it's proof. And kind of like what we see from these great players is they just have an ability to really control their golf ball when they need to. That's something that you got to go work on.
Do you another question?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that that statement's poignant? Is there a bit in younger players that you see coming through? Is there a bit of a lack of understanding of that? It's at an early age that you have to, there's certain things you have to do.
Yeah.
And maybe because of the accessibility, and I'll use YouTube as an example,
mm-hmm.
that, and I say this, I'll draw an analogy to hardball. Just because you watch the Toronto Blue Jays win a World Series,
yeah,
but never actually played hardball,
yeah,
doesn't make you an expert.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like nothing takes, like, and you have to play it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to practice. You have to understand what goes into making a major league ball player.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that the Blue Jays did well because participation is going up now with the little people, with the little guys, with the Japan kids playing ball.
Yeah.
But golf, the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
That there's the product that you're seeing right there didn't just mysteriously happen.
No.
It's a lifetime.
Yeah.
It is a lifetime.
Yeah.
To be able to hit that shot, to be able to do, to be off the, down in a little gully on the apron and hit the ball up and have it roll right back down to your feet and not lose your mind and then knock it within 2 feet with the next shot.
Yeah.
That's years and years and years.
Every other sport, I think, when we think of it as a sport, and golf, it definitely has this game element to it, but every other sport has this reflexive action, right? These training. If we take baseball or hockey or anything, and you want something to happen in the act of all this chaos and excitement and movement, the decisions happen in milliseconds and the reactions happen in milliseconds, and you can't think about how you're going to do it. the play would be over. He would not be in it anymore. It has to happen based on your training. Golf has this similarity between practice and playing, where there's this time between your decision and the execution of the shot. And if you organize that time correctly, things can be great. If you're just doing the same things you're doing on the range, here's my grip, here's my this, and you get over the golf ball and try to hit it, you're really disconnected from being reflexive. Where's the wind? What's my shot doing? Where do I want this thing to go? I know that doesn't come so easy, and it's not easy to control your golf ball, but that's what you should be practicing more often. Watching a guy like Ryan Fox navigate around the golf course, he was letting the shots come to him. This is the shot I have to hit. Okay, I'm going to hit it and you know it from playing the golf course all week, but it's just training, right? Like it really is just this timing and training.
So that's the main takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what, Tim, it's been a pleasure talking about. We're going to keep on, majors come up. We'll talk about them, because I really don't, there's, sure your wife gets tired, but you have golf buddies.
She definitely pretends like she's listening to me when I talk about golf. She's very, very good at putting in words, filler words to make, and then eventually I'm like, you're not even watching. You don't care about this. Yeah. You don't care. You know what? She is really great. I'll come home from work some days and she'll have watched 5 minutes of golf just to be like, hey, did you see Brooks Koepka miss that putt? And I'm like, you're watching golf? She's like, oh, of course. He missed it.
Oh, okay. Shout out, Tim. Yeah. How people can get a hold of you.
Yeah. Golf Coach Tim everywhere.
And and you're out of Shaughnessy.
Out of Shaughnessy.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful chatting.
Great to chat.
Yeah. Thanks to riversidegolf.ca, Ken Poirier and the crew. And we're out, and we've wrapped up another season of majors.
There they go.
There they go.
Happened so fast.
Thank you, man.
All right. Thank you.